Hello and welcome back to my channel. So if you've seen my last video, you would have seen that I said at the end I was going to do the black OBTs. So I just went up to start getting the enclosures, and I've got other enclosures on a shelf below and another shelf below that, which are Selenocosmia Crassipes. So the Queensland whistling spider. And if any of you have got these that have grown them on, they are just amazing. Attitudes on them as slings are just brilliant. You can go in the enclosure one time and they're super calm. The next time they'll be super feisty, raise up. And I've only ever heard them whistle, I'd say a handful of times since I've had them now for a couple of years. I've had them for, I think, 3 years now. I'm not too sure, but the female and a mature male. And the mature male is slightly longer in size than the female, and the female's a bit stockier, but she's still got some to grow. She's a sub-adult, but you can pair them at that stage. Whether their take or the numbers of eggs is just greatly reduced. It all depends on the condition of the tarantula as well. But saying that, that's what I did today. So I'm going to show you the footage now. I was trying to do the black OBTs and he was tapping away below, and the Selenocosmia Crassipes stays fossorial. They do chambers, they do webs, a heavy webber, and hardly come out. Come out means they're either hungry or they do actually drink, considering they're an Australian spider and they're going to be in more hotter climate. I actually see mine drink the most out of any tarantula I've got in here. It's the Queensland whistling spiders that drink the most. They're constantly over by the water, they're constantly drinking. So I top that up all the time. But they do that, any noise, they go back in. They feed, they go back in. And the female's been out consistently now for 2 weeks. And I thought, is she going to molt? But she doesn't molt out, she molts in and then uses that. The same as the H. gigas. H. gigas, they molt in their burrow and they sort of use it to, like, packed in on the walls. But she's just been out, and then I caught the male drumming and she wasn't responding, so I thought I'd just give it a go. So I put him in, and he was calm at first and then just flew out of the enclosure like he freaked. I lost all the footage, but the camera was just going everywhere. And he ran out of the enclosure and just jumped straight towards me and went straight down on the floor and then just ran off, but let me collect him quite easy. So I'll normally have a camera set up across the room, and I normally have another one set up on here, so I would have caught it, but I just thought, no, I'll get him in, then I'll record, because he wouldn't do anything. So I'm gutted that I missed that, because that would have been funny for yourselves. But just going to show you the footage now of them pairing. So hopefully it all goes well, and she's not fully grown, because they can get 22 centimeters, I believe. Majority of the ones I've seen are a bit smaller than that, probably 16 to 18, but apparently they can get up to 20, just over 22, which is freaking huge, to be honest. Especially for a spider that rears up, and then it stridulates, I think that's what you call it, and that's how it creates the whistle. But because I keep mine in the way I do, I don't get any threats really from any of them, so they've stayed calm. So I thought I'd see that from them when I paired, but I didn't at all. So I'll show you the footage. I stayed completely calm all the way through, so I'll probably talk over the top of it, but here's the footage. So after that scary start for me there with him jumping out, he's gone in very smooth, and she's actually approached him straight away, immediately assisting him with the pairing where she's positioning herself and raising up the abdomen. You can see his front paddy part below there actually inserting. And it's good that they're out in the open doing this, because their burrows in the wild can be up to a metre, if not greater, deep in the substrate below, because they are a burrowing species. But very calm and out there at the minute. They are from Australia, from the mid to the east Queensland. That's where they're more native to, and they do spread out a little bit from there. But they can whistle and they can bark. But as I said, they can live up to a metre down in the ground, straight down, and then off to a couple of different directions. So I will have to change this enclosure when I know they're successfully paired or after, and put them into bigger and deeper substrate, which is what I want to do. But sub-adult for the female and adult for the male. But you can see he's just tapping away. He's already paired with her once. He's going back again. He's initiating it with her, and there's not a single threat from her. I think he's got her in a good position there. He's backed her up and she's raising up there, so it's really, really good. It didn't take a lot of time, because some of these spiders can take hours. I'm trying to do the GBBs at the minute and they're taking a very long time to pair. But these, look, she's very, very interested and she's actually going into him and definitely positioning herself better. So I was really, really happy with that. But some males don't seem to know what they're doing. He is very, very confident. And you can see he's swinging both of his pedipalps, letting her know that he's obviously ready, and she then raises up. She did put her fangs out a couple of times, so not fully stretched out, but I was trying to see if I could show you here where the emboli stretches out, but I don't think we can see on the camera there. I know he's got his right one in, but then he was trying to load up with the left one as well, but you can see there she's actually bending herself back to make it a bit more accessible, so I'm hoping this would be confirmed and all sorted. But releases, and this is the moment where you've got to stand by, because the females can always take the males, but there's not any sign of a threat. He's still tapping away, letting her know he's potentially interested. So I was moving back and forward because I just didn't want him to dart out again, because he jumped quite fast, so I was quite amazed. But he's a good size for a male, but then this is what was just puzzling me here. He was sort of getting on top of her and just positioning himself very high above her, but I think he's finished himself and he's looking for his way out, but he's not really panicking. And then he just literally moves her out the way and then just walks over nice and casually. You can see that I'd come back just in case he jumped again, but he's still drumming. But it's just, I don't know if he's just saying, hey, it's me, I was just there, and he casually walks away, so he's done, which I was absolutely amazed with. And I put him back in and it was nice and easy, so I was very relieved with that. Then we go back to the female. She acted strange for a couple of minutes, just sitting there. I didn't get it on camera because I was just worried where he was going to go, but she was just moving her legs a bit weird and then she turned around, which is normally a good sign of a good pairing, where they rub the legs on themselves. And then this is where I first saw her then start moving back into her burrow straight away, which she hasn't done for over a month. So even though she's not fully grown, they can still be receptive to pairing and hopefully can get a sack. So I was amazed with it. So keep you posted if this does happen. So you don't have to have a fully grown tarantula, has to be at least 2/3 of the way up there and they can still pair. I mean, if she's drumming back, that means she's obviously interested and she obviously can. Okay, so as you saw there, I had a successful pairing. I could see the emboli, it stretched out underneath and went up and in and then just started shaking around. So I could see it with my eye, but I couldn't get in that close because the way the male was moving before and the way he jumped out at me, they can just turn it on in an instant, these can, and just get a bit of a threat display. The female's not really shown me any aggressions for years since she was smaller, so now she's big, she's quite calm. But you saw that there, he paired and then went back, drummed in the air, paired again. So they paired at least twice, so I think definitely one I saw go in with one of them. And then they always like to do the other one as well. So I have seen him load up now for the last week or so. So I knew he was ready, but there was no aggression from her whatsoever. And then as you saw at the end, I'll just put that back on. As you saw at the end there, to me, that's abnormal behaviour for her, for what she's been showing for the past month, I'd say. She's permanently been out. And I think that's because he matured 2 months ago. I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but he matured roughly a month to a month and a half. He's laid a sperm web and he's been active, then non-active, and then he would hide away for a week and then he would come back out and sit there for 2-3 days. But since he started drumming, she's never gone back in. But I've never saw her drum once. And that's why I was a bit curious. I wanted to wait till I saw that she was receptive and then I'd introduce, because I can't find any more of these as juveniles, as sub-adults or as adults. They only ever come on as slings, so it's very rare. So he's the only male I've got, but the only female, so I didn't want him to perish. But as you saw there, she was completely placid and just went through the motions as per normal, which was brilliant. And at the end, she walked back into her hole, which I've not seen her do, into her burrow for about a month. So that to me in itself is she was wanting that pairing. They paired successfully, and as soon as they're done, he walked away quite calmly over the top of her, and then she turned around and immediately walked back, and then she's gone in her burrow and I can't see her now. So that's her done. So that is good, and I hope that's a good omen. He's now gone into his and ran away down into his burrow. So I've made sure they've both got water. But God, if I can get those paired, that would be brilliant for a Australian tarantula. So you saw that there, quite straightforward, no threat posture, no dramatic pairing between some of them, because some of the tarantulas can do. They were just very chilled, it was very easy. I just got put off by the way he darted out. I think when I was pushing him through with the stick going through the actual, my tub that I've got here, it just sticks slightly and it just jolted. So I think I scared him and he ran out. And once he detected the web of the female, he just immediately turned around and just jumped straight back out. But once I got him back up, let him chill for a minute, put him in, he was absolutely fine. And he walked straight to her and she just went up to him and they just instigated it, just did it all straight away. It was brilliant. So fingers crossed. So that was an unscheduled video for today, but I am super happy the way that went through. So that wasn't planned, but fingers crossed for me. Hopefully we've got little Queensland babies. Oh my God, that would be amazing if I get an egg sac. Watch this space. I keep everything updated and I'll keep an eye on it. I'm going to make notes now of the date that I paired them, so I can go from there if I do get to see a sac. But if she comes back out again, I know that I should pair him again in a couple of weeks. If I don't see her, I'll wait for a month and then I'll try and have a look around and see what's going on. But the enclosure she's in is completely sealed, so I don't mind if she has an egg sac and does it herself in there, because it needs a clean, it needs sorting out, so I can go down that road of what I want to do. Ideally, I'd like her to open the sac herself in there and we can see what it all looks like, because none of them can escape. So fingers crossed, that's what we get. So see you on the next one.